Tell me a couple of, I guess, monumental moments in both in the story arc itself and
Yeah.
how Aragorn's role propels the narrative, but
Yeah.
also for you as an impressionable young man
Yeah.
that really resonate and inspired you.
Yeah. I mean, as an adult and a father now, when I see certain moments in the films as I watch them every year, because why not? Extended editions only. Um, so, when he takes moments of courage amidst insurmountable odds, his virtue as a leader to not only lead the people, but to lead his people as one of them as well. I think there's a moment in Helm's Deep in the film specifically when Legolas and Aragorn are arguing, and Legolas is basically saying, "Look at them; they're terrible. These men don't even know how to fight. They're all going to die." And Aragorn says, "Then I'll die as one of them." He doesn't say, "I'll die with them." He says, "I will die as one of them." The ability of a leader to not only come alongside your people, but to fight and be a part of your people, getting in the muck with your people, the people that you lead. I think is powerful. He drives the narrative forward through his courage and his ability to understand his emotion and still move on, not to neglect his emotion, as some would say is true masculinity, to ignore your emotion and press forward, but his ability to recognize his emotion, but then still do what is tasked of him. For example, when Gandalf dies, spoiler, in Moria, they flee, they leave Moria, they're on the cliffs, they're about to go into Lothlorien, and everyone is devastated. And there's a moment where Aragorn is really shaken by Gandalf's fall, but he tells them, "Hey, we have to move. We can't stay here. We have to leave." Like, even though he knows the moment, the situation, he still is able to lead in a moment of, amidst his emotions, he's able to say, "This is awful, but there's still something that has to be done. We have to keep moving forward." I think that's such an incredible impact to me as a father, right? In raising children, leading people in my church, that there is a task that is far more important than the things that we may feel, even though the things that we feel are very, very real. Another scene, obviously, probably his most amazing speech that he gives in all the movies, when he is at the Black Gate, and he turns to his men and he says, "The day may come where the strength of men fails. It's not this day. Today we will fight." Aragorn did not go there to win a battle like he did at Pelennor Fields. He went there to essentially die in hope that beyond him there would be a greater life for the people who would come after. And there's even something that you see in the books as well. After he's crowned king, he plants another tree, another white tree of Gondor, that he will never have. He'll never be able to see. And it's the idea that a great man does not do things for himself in his own present age. He does things for the better of others in ages to come that he will never even experience. And as a father, again, knowing that what I'm doing will impact my children, but also potentially their children's children that I may never know, but the
Right.
seeds that I plant now can change and completely change generations to come that I may not even see. He's, again, like I said earlier, he's, I think, the quintessential masculine archetype for any man to look at and be like, "Yeah, I want to be him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect because I want to talk about the archetype,
Yeah.
and I'd love to. You've mentioned obviously Messiah, Christ-like,
Mhm.
but also, so I'd love for you to touch on that and
Yeah.
similarities there, but also if there are any other literary or mythological figures that come to mind
Yeah.
as other similar archetypes in stories that people might be familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, King Arthur, right? That's obviously one that I think Tolkien would have drawn from, specifically being English and wanting to create a mythology for his people. I think he definitely pulled from King Arthur. There's the Nords, the Nordic myths that he read and was heavily influenced by, but I think also not just Christ. I think other biblical figures like Moses and Jeremiah, they protested their worthiness when they were called to lead. And that's something that Aragorn constantly is checking himself with. Am I actually good enough to do this? I think even King David and the failures that he may have made, still being a true and worthy king of Israel. But I don't think that there is much more of a stronger figure than Christ that Tolkien would have been able to pull from. I think he is. I think mainly though because Aragorn is such a fusion of myth and humanity, and that is what Christ truly is to the believer. He is the fusion of the divine and the human, and he's the combination of both. And I don't think you can get away from that when you look at Aragorn. And I think that's why some people would view him as someone that isn't able to be identified with on the surface. But as you dig deeper into a character, I think that's when you really can see, oh wow, yes, they've gone through the same struggles that I have, even if it's in a mythological world like Middle Earth. So